Let me ask you something. What if the next life-saving drug could reach you or someone you love years sooner? I know, it sounds a little like science fiction, doesn't it? But it's not. That is the incredible promise of artificial intelligence in medicine. Today, we're going to break down how AI is poised to completely overhaul one of the most complex and high-stakes processes on the planet, getting new treatments approved and into the hands of patients.
So let's just sit with that for a second. We could actually accelerate the arrival of life-saving therapies, and not just by discovering new molecules, but by fundamentally reinventing the approval process itself. So you see, this isn't just about moving faster. It's about rewriting the entire rulebook for how we bring new medicines to the world, both safely and efficiently.
All right, here's the game plan for our journey today. First, we're going to dig into the problem itself, what I like to call the great medical logjam. Then we'll meet our hero, AI, and see how it's starting to break through those barriers. But, every hero's journey has its trials, so we'll also navigate some really critical ethical crossroads. And finally, we'll map out a blueprint for a responsible, human-centric future.
Okay, so to really get why the solution is such a big deal, we have to understand the scale of the problem. I mean, it can take over a decade and literally billions of dollars just to bring a single new drug to market. And a huge chunk of that time and money, it's all spent navigating this incredibly demanding review process with agencies like the FDA or the EMA.
And it's not just a process, it really is a labyrinth. We're talking about submissions that can be hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of pages long. Can you even imagine? They contain everything, sprawling clinical trial data sets, super complex manufacturing specifications, all the way down to the most granular safety reports. It is a monumental, totally human-powered effort. It's slow, and let's be honest, it's susceptible to error. And this is where our hero bursts onto the scene. AI is stepping up as this digital catalyst that has the raw power to just slice through that labyrinth of complexity and dramatically speed up the whole innovation pipeline. The core promise here really boils down to three simple but powerful ideas. Smarter, by catching subtle errors in clinical trial data that a human reviewer might just gloss over. Faster, by automating all that tedious work of compiling and formatting thousands of pages of reports. And more consistent, by making sure every single submission holds up to the exact same high standard. But here's what's truly exciting. This isn't just about efficiency. It's about elevating the entire process. AI is actually making the submissions themselves higher quality, more insightful, and frankly, just more robust. What I find so fascinating here is how these opportunities all build on each other. It all kicks off with smarter data management. Think of an AI that can cross-reference thousands of patient records in seconds to flag an anomaly. That clean data then powers these amazing predictive insights. And that, in turn, lets us automate routine tasks, which frees up teams to collaborate more effectively. And ultimately, it gives them way better decision support. It's a beautiful chain reaction. Let's make this real. An AI can take over the absolutely mind-numbing work of data entry and generating standard reports. So what's the result? Well, you free up these brilliant scientists and regulatory experts to focus on what they do best: deep strategic analysis, interpreting complex results, and that critical, nuanced thinking that only a human can do. Okay, the potential here is obviously huge, but you know what they say, with great power comes great responsibility. And in the world of medicine, where the stakes are about as high as they can get, we absolutely have to stop and ask ourselves, are we ready for this? This is the core question that pretty much everyone in the industry is grappling with right now. Because in healthcare, the consequences of getting something wrong can be devastating, and public trust is everything. So getting this right isn't just an option, it's an absolute necessity. You see, for every incredible promise AI makes, there's a potential pitfall we have to navigate very, very carefully. The promise of speed, it's met with the challenge of making sure we don't accidentally amplify historical biases in the data. The push for accuracy runs right up against critical data privacy concerns, and the power of making better decisions is shadowed by this need for total transparency and really clear lines of accountability. And this right here is one of the biggest hurdles, both technically and ethically: the black box problem. It's kind of like having a brilliant student who aces every single test but can't show you their work. You might trust the answer, but if you can't see the process, how can you be 100% certain the reasoning is sound? How can regulators trust a decision they can't even understand? And that's where something called explainable AI, or XAI, comes into the picture.
These are systems designed from the ground up to show their work. Every single recommendation, every flagged risk, every conclusion, it can all be traced and justified. This isn't just a nice feature to have. It's a fundamental requirement for building and maintaining any kind of trust in these systems.
So what happens when things go wrong? Let's say an AI error contributes to a problem. Who's ultimately responsible? The developer who wrote the code? The pharmaceutical company that used the tool? The regulators? The answer is, well, it's far from simple. And it's a legal and ethical minefield that we're only just beginning to learn how to navigate.
So, how do we move forward? We can't just hit the brakes on innovation. That's not an option. But we absolutely have to proceed with our eyes wide open. Fortunately, a roadmap for responsible AI implementation is finally starting to take shape.
The key here is just to be relentlessly proactive. This means thinking about risks before you even start development. It means building diverse, interdisciplinary teams to challenge assumptions and spot blind spots. And it means making a firm, unwavering commitment to transparency, strong data governance, and just constantly monitoring and improving.
So, what does all this mean for the future? Well, it's not some world where robots have replaced all the doctors and scientists. No way. It's a world where humans and AI work together in this powerful partnership where each side gets to play to its unique strengths. This is probably the most crucial point to take away from all of this. Think of it like a pilot and an autopilot. The autopilot handles all the routine navigation, which frees up the human pilot to monitor the big picture, handle any turbulence, and make those critical takeoff and landing decisions. The goal is always to augment human expertise, never to replace it. As one expert in this field put it so perfectly, AI is a tool, not a decision maker. It can provide us with absolutely incredible insights and capabilities that feel almost superhuman. But at the end of the day, the context, the wisdom, and the ultimate responsibility for making the right call, that will always rest with us. So as we look to the future, the question isn't whether we should use AI in medicine, it's how. How can we do it in a way that is both profoundly innovative and deeply, deeply responsible? It's a challenge that's going to require all of us, scientists, regulators, companies, and the public, to work together to build a future where technology truly serves humanity. Let me ask you something. What if the next life-saving